Want to do a quick video. I did one recently, a similar topic, but I was reviewing a complaint just now that we're about to get involved in. That involves a truancy. It involves reports to DHR and or CPS to get involved in this situation. I've got a first grader that they were late to the game on evaluating this kid, and then on top of it has an IEP, but somehow all these recurring behavior issues are still stuck on the problem solving team side, which is a general education program. There's a whole lot going on as far as messes. There was another reevaluation done or completed recently by the school, and that's what I'm referring to in this video. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not giving any identifying information. I'm coming up with this stuff in my head as far as what I see frequently, is that parents will frequently hand over private evaluations, visits to the psychiatrist, things of that nature that are HIPAA protected, that have relevance with regards to mental health, medical health, psychological, those kind of things that have the relevance. And I'm talking about providing information about family history, extended family history, because some of these things can be pieces to put together for the global wellness of the patient. Okay. Now, the responsibilities of a public school with regards to their duty to provide your child a free, appropriate public education is very limited. Very limited. All right. And within those parameters, what they should be given access to is educationally relevant material. And you sit there and you go, well, parents or even schools will sit there and say, but records are protected, James. No, they're not. HIPAA is not the same thing as FERPA. FERPA is supposed to be the Education Records Protection Act, okay? But this is what happens when somebody violates your child's privacy rights. And within your child's education records contains delicate information about you sometimes as a parent. There's a copy of your license. Sometimes there's a copy of your social security number, your address, your bills, to where this stuff, when I ask for education records, I'm getting all of it, guys. I am getting the cumulative education file that includes your delicate information. Now, it's safe with me. I'm your child's attorney, and we do not look at cumulative data because it's not relevant to what we're doing. I don't need to see your license. I don't need to see your bills. I don't need to see those things, but they send it because it's in the cumulative file. I focus on what is educationally relevant, okay, which parents hand over their psychological reports, their medical reports. And they do so without thinking about the potential consequences of doing so. And I'm telling you that the people that we're dealing with inside the public education system, most of them are good, but there are some bad ones in there. There are some petty, juvenile, ignorant, disgusting, vile people that work within any industry, okay? That you would never want to share your personal information with because it's none of their business. There's a lot of stuff that you hold private and dear that you don't even share with members of your extended family. Yet this stuff is shared with your medical professionals. And then once it's in these reports that are about your child, a lot of parents just hand it over to the school system, and especially in these small communities to where you all know each other. You're handing this stuff over to people that you don't want to see this stuff. And you go, well, but it's record privacy. Guys, like I said, there's absolutely no punishment for anybody looking at your stuff and then sharing it and gossiping about it or having it embedded in their little trash dumpster in their brain in between these two ears to where they're plotting and thinking. They're using it to deflect, to diminish services for your child, to make excuses, to sit there and discriminate by saying this child's bad because This child comes from a family that, let's say, for example, I read one recently that said that the child in a reevaluation report, guys, to where they took this as they surgically removed certain aspects of the family history from the parents' private report they handed over that had no educational relevance whatsoever to the child. No educational relevance. They took this information and they put that the child lives at home with mom, stepdad, and 3 half siblings. Why is that relevant? Why is that relevant? Because depending on who's reading that, most people aren't going to care. But there are some other people that may interact with the child that has ignorant or trashy opinions about either that individual, especially if they live in a small community. It's how it's framed. Okay, why was that put in there? What's the relevance? But then it goes on. Anger management problems in the family, not the child. Anger problems, meaning the adults have anger problems. Drug use history. This isn't about the child. These are the family members. History of psychosis, schizophrenia. Do you see how these become mounting problems to where we've taken the highlight off off the child that has no educational relevance in the child's IEP? It's not even the child's diagnosis, which the importance is what is it that is educationally relevant so that we can create an IEP that provides the child with a free, appropriate public education. And that stuff has no relevance. None. And so why is it in there? Why is it in a reevaluation report that is seen by an entire IEP team and read by an entire IEP team? Why? And to sit there and say, well, it's safeguarded information. The records are safeguarded. What goes into the trash dumpster and then shared over some drinks or laughed about at that person's family gathering, it's not safeguarded, guys. Be smart about and think about what you're sharing with the school. Because this kind of stuff turns into targeting. And it's hard, it's difficult, it's almost impossible for me to prove that you're being targeted because I don't have any proof of it, you see? And where are they getting this stuff from? As far as in here in that trash dumpster between the ears. You don't have a clue why they're picking on you and referring you over to DHR CPS, why they're targeting you for truancy, why they've got the Mean Girls Club that hate you and, denigrate you and push you away for societal shaming. It's the equivalent of the scarlet letter, guys. This information shouldn't be going out to people. We all have our struggles as human beings. And the older we get, I hope that we mature enough to understand that about each other and not pass judgment. But what you don't want to do as a parent is hand them the material to do that. Now, how do you do that? You go to your doctors and you ask them, under HIPAA to redact aspects of your a document to make it educationally relevant so that you can share it with the school. HIPAA is a one-way street, guys. You can request that your doctors do that, your providers do that, to where it's a one-way street. You have a safeguard, you have a wall safeguard, and what's coming out of that safeguard can be tactically redacted and to where the educationally relevant material with regards to your child's diagnosis, their psychological scores, or any other relevant material that doesn't include your family history and your dirty laundry, just doesn't need to go over and shared with the school, period, ever. It's not relevant. They have a duty to provide your child a FAPE, and that's it. And I can tell you, some of these schools will say, we need that information, except when it comes to me challenging them on the level of services they're providing your child. Then all of a sudden they're like, hey, hold up, bro. We only have to provide a minimal standard of FAPE. That's it. That's our duties. This is our basic floor of opportunity for the child. It's not up here. Well, if it's not up here, then neither is your access to all of this very personal information that can be used to destroy lives that I've seen happen too many times. I wish we were a better society. I wish we were better people. But unfortunately, we're not. And we're getting worse. Safeguard yourself. Safeguarding yourself safeguards your child.